Hi, it's ChiyevoNyamayedenga, L number L002471. I play netball, goal defence and goalkeeper. Today I was watching blue goal attack between 0 to 10 minutes. First I'm going to be talking about the strengths that I saw that she did for the skills. The first skill I saw was that she was stepping out the way to shoot. This means that she avoided a defender and could see the post properly to be able to perform an accurate shot. The second skill that I saw she did was that she always catches the ball in the air. This means that she reduces the time spent. Right. She always catches the ball in the air, which means that she can get the ball first before a defender to her, rather than her waiting to just catch the ball while she's on the ground. She always marks her player when she has the ball, so even though she's a goal attack, she always makes sure to mark the goal defence as well when the ball is turned over, because this means she can increase the chance of her getting an interception to hopefully get a turnover for her team if she can, or disrupt the play for the defender as she's being marked to not be able to see the ball properly. I'm going to move on to tactics. The tactics that I saw that she did well was that she knows when to pass the ball. So she was always looking out to see where her players were placed, rather than just throwing the ball when she thought she could, because her players could not be ready. So if she just threw the ball whenever she felt like it, her teammates would miss the ball and the ball would get turned over to the team. She's also aware of her defender's position, so when the defender is in a way and she's getting marked by her defender, she knows where she is, so she makes sure to move out the way. The way that she knew this was because she used her peripheral vision, which means she kept her eyes on the ball as well as a defender, so she could move for the ball but also be aware of a defender is to avoid her, so her defender can get the interception. Also, she made sure she was always an option to get the first centre pass, so she was always coming out for the ball. Even if her wing attack was confident that she would get it, she would make sure that she'd come out to help out, so that she can get the ball down to the shooting circle and hopefully score a goal for her team. The fitness strengths that I saw she did well was that she has good cardiovascular endurance, as she keeps offering herself as an option, and she kept running throughout the whole game, throughout the 10 minutes that I saw, and she always made sure to keep going even if she was tired, so this meant she was always an option for her teammates. She also had very good flexibility when doing a split jump. This is good because she's able to extend her knees properly to be able to increase the surface area that she can get, because the further she can make a split jump, the closer then she can drag herself to get closer to the post, which will increase the chance of getting a more accurate shot. She also had very good speed when running to get the ball. Because she had good speed when getting to the ball, this means that she would outrun her goal defence the majority of the time, so she could get the ball first, to be able to pass it on to a player who was ready, and be able to pass the ball to a player who was ready, and for the shooter to be able to make a score. The weaknesses that I saw she had was that the skill weaknesses that I saw she had was that she tries to turn and catch the ball in the air at once, but she didn't always get all the way around, so this would then delay her play, as she's not facing the right way to pass the ball on, and she wouldn't be ready to throw the ball to any player because she wasn't aware of where they were properly. The second skill that I thought she wasn't very good at was that she gets interceptions but through tips rather than getting a clean catch. As she's getting the interceptions through tips, this means that a defender also then has the chance to try and get the ball off her. And as she's tipping the ball out of the way, this means that the ball can go out of court and the pass would then be passed over to the opposing team. The last skill that I thought she didn't do well, she doesn't go for many rebounds. As she's not going for many rebounds, this means that the opposing team, so defenders, have a better opportunity of getting the ball. So she should also make sure she tries to go for the rebounds to prevent that from happening, because if the opposing team gets the ball, that means that they can have a better opportunity of scoring and getting the ball down to their side of the court. Moving on to tactics, weaknesses. She sometimes gets into the same space as the goal shooter. This was seen at 7 minutes and 50 seconds. As she's getting into the same space as the goal shooter, this means that it's hard for them both to get free and then get the ball. And as they're in the same area, it means there isn't many options in the shooting circle. So this can delay play and can result in 3 seconds. So there would be a free pass to the opposing team as they've gone over the time limit. I also saw that she doesn't communicate quite a lot with her team players. As she's not communicating, this means that she isn't making her players aware of where she is, or isn't helping out her team by either shouting left, left, right to indicate where the opposing players are going to pass the ball, which can help them in terms of getting a turnover for their team. I also saw that she's not always aware of where her defender is, because sometimes her defender would sometimes get in front of her and get the pass, and will get the ball to then be able to get a turnover for her team. The fitness weaknesses I saw was that she needs more power to go for interceptions and rebounds, because when she did go for the jumps, she didn't really jump as high as you would have wanted her to, because her defender was able to get the ball either first, and as she didn't have as much power, it means that she couldn't get the interceptions and her team would need that to increase their score. Her balance also is not as strong, because sometimes she would lose balance when holding a 3-foot mark. So this meant she wouldn't be able to have an effective 3-foot mark, and her player would be able to get free in terms of passing the ball to another player. I also saw that she didn't have good strength in when passing the ball in her arms, because sometimes the ball wouldn't go as far as she wanted it to. So this meant that the other team could get the free ball to then turn it over to their team. So from what I've seen, the weakness skill that I want to improve on would be improving her interceptions, so that she's able to get more by the end of the training. The fitness skill I want to focus on as well is that she needs to increase the power in her legs to be able to go for more rebounds and interceptions, and to jump higher in the air. For this, I will do it in the space of 2 to 3 months for the training, because this will allow physical adaptations to take place. In this space of the 2 to 3 months, I want to do plyometrics training, which will include, because I want to do plyometrics training session, because they will help improve the explosive strength in her legs, especially her rectus femoris and biceps femoris. As the muscle will hopefully get bigger by the end of the 2 to 3 months, this will help her to eventually jump higher for the interceptions. In the plyometrics training session, I want to do, it will include 3 sets and 10 reps of doing box jumps, also 3 sets and 10 reps of doing squat jumps, and also 3 sets and 10 reps of doing bounding. This will take place in the first 1 to 4 week period where we'll see how she performs. But before the training takes place, I will do an initial assessment where I will measure how high she can naturally jump. So this will be tested by her doing the vertical jump test. And through this, we'll see what we need to improve. I will also use a camera to record a technique to see what we need to improve. So also in the first 1 to 4 weeks, to improve her chances of getting interceptions, we'll start with the drill where there's going to be a feeder and then her working as the player. So the feeder will be stationary and the player will be active. In this drill, she will run in halfway between her and the feeder, and then she will sprint back out to receive a high ball. But as she's doing this, she needs to make sure to keep her eyes on the ball so that she doesn't miss it. During this session, I will make sure that it's a fixed practice session, so she will do this for the whole session and keep repeating it until she does it correctly. If the player is struggling with this, that's when I will enforce negative reinforcement. This will be where I will add a negative comment to see whether a negative comment to tell her what she's doing wrong, and then when she begins to do it correctly, I will remove the negative comment so that she can see that she's doing it well, and then we're able to move on. As she's if she begins to become more confident with this drill in this 1 to 4 weeks, I will then increase the intensity of how she's doing the drill. I will also increase the frequency, so instead of training once a week, we'll start training twice a week. And I will also do the same for the plyometrics training session. I will also increase the intensity for this. Next, in the 5 to 8 weeks training period, she will continue to do the plyometrics training session, but instead of just doing squat jumps now, I will do them weighted, so I will use a free weight that she will rest on her shoulders, and then she'll make sure that when she's performing the squat jump that her feet are shoulder width apart, and then she will begin to do the jumps. But before she does this, as it can be quite dangerous, I will make sure that it is done in a distributed session where there's breaks so that she doesn't cause injury to herself. And I will also make sure that she watches a demonstration of an athlete who is about the same age as her but who is confident in doing this. I'll make sure that it's a clear demonstration and that it follows all the key points and techniques that she needs to know. This is so she can create a clear image in her head of how she must complete the task. So the rest of the session, of the plyometrics session, will continue as normal, where she will still do bounding and do the box jumps. However, for the box jumps, I will increase the size of the box so that it's a bit higher, so that each time she's jumping higher and stretching her quadriceps and hamstrings more to allow the adaptations to take place, rather than her doing the same thing over and over again and not seeing any more improvements. For training her to improve her interceptions, I will then do a drill. I will improve the drill by adding 2 feeders, and in this sense there'll be 2 feeders on the court, and she will be placed outside of the court. And in the court, the 2 feeders will be passing the ball back and forth to each other. After this, I will expect the player to then go for the interception between the passing happening between the 2 feeders. In this time, I want to make sure that she times herself properly when going for the interception so that she doesn't miss it. And then, because if that was in a game situation, she could delay the time and when she needed a turnover, they wouldn't be able to get it. In this session, I'll make sure to do mass practice. So she will do this continuously for the full session, just to make sure she gets the hang of it, and that will be improved. In this session, I'll also, between this 5 to 8 week period, I'll make sure that there is, I will increase the time that she spends doing this drill. Even though it's continuous, there will be some breaks implemented so that she doesn't fatigue as easily. Also, when performing the plyometrics session, I will also make sure to include one session a week where she will go to an institute of sport, which would be Sheffield, where we would use the force plates that are there. We would use this institution because it has all the facilities and the support and care that the player would need. So the force plates will measure how high and how much force is produced when she jumps, to make sure, so that we can see what improvements need to be made after we've finished. Also, we need to make sure to utilise these force plates, as they're quite rare in the UK and there isn't many. I think there's only 4 that are placed around the UK. In the 9 to 12 weeks, we will still do the plyometrics training session, and in this time I will then increase the height of the box jump even more to see if she is jumping higher than before. I will also increase the amount of reps and sets she does for the session. So instead of doing 3 and 10, she will do 4 by 12. So in the session it will still include box jumps, squat jumps and bounding. For the squat jumps, I will increase the weights so that we can create greater force in the legs and that we can allow the adaptations to occur. In the bounding, I'll also make sure that she bounds for a longer period of time rather than before. For improving interceptions, I will do a drill where there'll be 4 feeders placed in a diamond shape. These 4 feeders will be passing the ball continuously between them all, and then there'll be and then the attack will be placed outside of the diamond, and there'll also be another attacker to help her to replicate a gaming situation where there's a goal shooter and goal attack. Between this, they'll pass the ball between one another. No, between this, the goal attack and goal shooter who are outside the circle will be trying to go for interceptions between the passes happening between the feeders inside the diamond. With this, it will replicate a game situation and will help us see realistically how it would turn out in a game. In this session, I'll also end with her playing an actual game where they can see how the training that they've done will then be actually placed in a game situation and how it will turn out and what improvements still need to be made. If the goal attack is still struggling with these interceptions by this time, I will start including punishment. This is where I will make her do either burpees, which will still be improving her fitness but still be a punishment, so it's still benefiting her play. But hopefully by this, as it is weakening the SR bond, she will know not to, it'll help her think, I need to improve this play and not to make the same mistakes again. Within this, if she's doing well again, I will then use positive reinforcement to show her that she's doing well and reward her as well, to strengthen the SR bond again, to make her feel confident. While also they're in the game situation, I'll make sure to keep her extrinsically motivated so that she's not feeling down or unconfident about her play if she's struggling. So I'd make sure to keep the player motivated so she doesn't lose interest in what she's doing and that she continues performing well. Also, during the training period of 2 to 3 months, I'll make sure to watch her nutrition. So I'll make sure to increase the protein as we are trying to increase muscle size and also make sure our muscles are being repaired throughout the time she's training. I'll also make sure to increase the carbohydrate intake that she has, because she's an athlete who plays a continuous sport, and in netball you need a lot of energy, as she'll be playing for 40 minutes and she needs to make sure she doesn't fatigue. I'll also reduce her fat intake. By this it means that she's able to move a lot more faster, really, because there won't be any more extra fat around her muscles, and this will also make sure that her muscles can develop to the best ability that they can. Also, I need to make sure that by the end of the training session that she makes sure to do a cool down. This is so I can reduce DOMS, delay onset muscle soreness. So this will help with the removal of lactic acid and won't leave her feeling any pain or soreness after she does a training session. By the end of the training period, the adaptations I hopefully wish to see would be increased muscle hypertrophy by the end, and also increased muscle fibre size. I also want to see an increased fast twitch fibre, because to increase because from the plyometrics training session there'll be the muscle will be able to stretch a lot further and snap back, which means she can hopefully jump higher to get an interception. So yeah.